Welcome back to Table Talk. We're talking baseball here with Ethan Roberts, and welcome back for a second segment.
Thanks.
Here
Thank you.
on here. Okay, so we talked
Absolutely.
about high school, we talked about college, and a lot of great things that happened at Tennessee Tech.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about, do I come back for a senior season, or do I want to step full-fledged into professional baseball? Talk about that decision, because that's a big one, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I went. We had our scout night. It was like our first full big team thing. We have a scout night. So that was my junior year, which is my first draft year eligible.
We should say this is last year, correct?
This was last year, yeah. And so this is my first draft year eligible since I've been in high school. So I was out there, I was like, all these scouts here and everything. I hope I get a letter tonight. And I come back in my locker and I'm like, there's not a letter in here. And I see all my buddies with letters and I'm like, what's going on here? So that was my first kind of taste of professional scouting. I was like, dang it, So then the year goes on, and I start getting a little bit of letters, and I'm like, okay, this is really cool. This is really cool. This might actually happen. And so my decision wasn't like, okay, I'm going if I get any money. No, I had a set number that I knew I had to get to make me come away from Tennessee Tech, because Tennessee Tech was where my heart was at. Like, that was my school.
And what's Matt Braga telling you too?
It's up to you.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was fully supportive. He was like, man, it's up to you.
Right.
Like, you just got to think you got to make that last.
Yeah.
So I'm going through the process, and me and my wife talk, and we're like, well, I don't know if we could do this. I don't know if we could do that. I don't know if we could do this. So it gets down to around conference tournament time. And it's just been like letters here, calls here, guys call you at this time, just to pick your brain and, get what you're feeling. But I mean, as an athlete, you have an agent. So if they ask a difficult question like, what dollar amount do you want? You're like, go talk to my guy.
Right.
So because they're trained to talk to people
Exactly.
like that. So you don't want to slip up and say something you don't need to say.
Right.
So my agent took care of a lot of my stuff for me. He's my right-hand guy to this day. Like, I still have him. He's awesome. He works out of Kentucky.
Okay.
His name is Jordan Reed. He's awesome. So he kind of took care of all the big money talks with the guys. Like I didn't have to do much of that, which was nice, because that's very stressful on an athlete. Like, a lot of my buddies had to do that like themselves. They had to talk to those guys about everything. Yeah, it was hard.
That's a lot. When you talk about how baseball is in the mental game,
it's
I want
hard.
my mind even going on.
And then you've got to go play Ole Miss next week.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh crap! Like, they're sitting there thinking about, am I going to get 60K or 70K? And they got to worry about throwing strikes tomorrow.
Yeah.
So having a guy like that helped me out a lot. But so it got down to it, and we were in conference tournament time. And I remember going to watch my. We were in our conference tournament in Alabama, and in Oxford, Alabama, and the SEC tournament's right there close.
Okay.
And so my wife's cousin played for Auburn last year. His name was Jay Estes.
Oh, okay.
And so we had an off day between our first game and our second game, and we went and watched him. And so at this time, the athletics were like hardcore, like, dude, you better come sign with us. And so we go and watch that game, and we're heading out, and this guy like waves his head up and he yells my name. He's like, Ethan, what are you doing? And it was the A's scout. He was at the game.
Wow.
And he runs across the thing. He's like, hey man, I just wanted to finally introduce myself. It was funny. So I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to the A's. And so I was talking to my agent and stuff after the Ole Miss. Like, what I did at Ole Miss kind of helped me out for what I ended up in the long run getting. But after Ole Miss, I was still kind of talking to my agent, and day 1 of the draft is just first round, and then day 2 is rounds 2 through 10, and then day 3 is 11 through I can't remember how many rounds.
Gotcha.
But so
MLB Network does a great job.
They
with
do,
that
yeah,
too,
it's awesome. They do, and they put it on a bunch of different social platforms for
Yeah.
everybody to watch. But so I was talking to my guy, and he's like, yeah, I know you're looking at like mid-3rd day, but you're gonna get the money you want. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And we were on our way back from Ole Miss, and we stop and eat at Zaxby's. And at this time, they had just started day 2
Right.
of the draft. And he was like, just keep your phone on, like, you never know what could happen. And I'm like, yeah, right, dude, just don't even tempt me with that.
Right.
I was like, you haven't even mentioned anything about day 2, so I'm just gonna turn my phone off. And so I didn't have it on. I mean, it wasn't like off, but I didn't have my sound on at all.
Right.
And so we go in and we eat at Zaxby's, and if anybody knows me, I like shoes a lot. So we went in and looked at Ross at some shoes. So we got done, and I didn't get any shoes because my girl told me I couldn't.
There you go.
So anyway, we get on the bus, and I'm like, man, I gotta turn on some music. This is just killing me.
Yeah.
This guy's telling me this. So I pull out my phone, and his name's on my phone calling me, and I'm like, this dude is joking. Why would he do this to me?
Yeah.
So I go, I said, hello. And he said, if you say yes to this, you're going to go to the Cubs in the 4th round. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, they're offering you this. Do you want it or not? And I was like, how did you do this? He goes, just trust me. And I said, yes. And I hung up the phone. And then I called her. And I called my dad.
Off camera, yeah.
And I called my dad. Well, I called Hope. And I was like, Hope. She was riding back with the now head coach of Tech, Justin Holmes. She's right back with his wife. And I was like, you gotta look on Twitter, you gotta look on something. And I just hung up on her and I called my dad. I was like, Dad, you gotta look on something, you gotta look on this. And I hung up and I opened my Twitter and I scroll one time and it goes, 4th round, 128th overall, Cubs select. And I was like, and I just started crying because that's like what I've been working for my whole life. And, you know, I thought the whole time I wasn't even gonna go that day. But my guy worked some magic for me.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
And did I say something good? Because I jokingly, not jokingly, but you were born on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Did I say that you actually signed with the Cubs on the 4th of July?
I signed in June.
Okay.
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I signed in June.
Oh wait, June 20. That's true. You signed on my birthday. That was what it was.
No.
June 27th
Yeah.
is what it was.
Yeah.
But on July 4th, you actually were assigned.
I was.
to
Yes.
the Eugene
on
Emeralds.
my birthday, I had my
Yes.
first flight. It was a promotion from the Arizona League, which is rookie ball regular. And then I went to Eugene, Oregon with the Eugene Emeralds on July the 4th on my birthday. Flew to Boise, Idaho when they were on the road and met them there. So it was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's pretty wild. That's a great story on being drafted. But like you said, you've already got your taste, your first taste this past year with the Eugene Emeralds.
Yeah.
And we said it's kind of like if you heard of rookie ball, it's kind of a short season type situation.
Yeah.
I think you saw action. Is it 10 games? I think that you saw action in, or maybe even more than that. I don't know.
10 or 15, something like that.
Okay, something along those lines.
But-
You know, tell me, I know that we talked off camera before this. I was like, you're really tough on righties, and lefties kind of got to you a little bit. But tell me about we talked about the biggest adjustment between high school and college.
Yeah.
Tell us about the biggest adjustment going into the Eugene Emerald situation there to where you're facing that next level.
Yeah, and see, it's different for everybody. One guy might have trouble locating breaking balls or, you know, pitching backwards, which is, if you don't know what pitching backwards is, it's like, you know, no balls, no strikes, throwing a curveball and then getting him with a fastball. Like he's looking for a fastball and you give him something he's not looking for. So a lot of people have trouble with, you know, pitch selection. But what I had more trouble with was this. When I was in college, Matt Braga called every single game, so I never even had to worry about it. I've never done it in my life. Like my high school pitching coach called my games. Braga called my games in college. And then I get to pro ball and the catcher's back there going,
Fastball.
and I'm like, okay, I guess I can't shake off. And I was just, you know, I was doing whatever they would tell me to do. And I should have been shaking off and I should have been pitching my game.
Managing your game.
Exactly, yeah. And so that's one thing that I learned, you know, from the jump. I was like, okay, well, I guess I gotta, you know, pitch my game instead of, you know, just not shaking. So I just gotta learn to be a more mature pitcher, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So
we should say this again. We said this in the first segment that we're taping this on March 1st. Ethan is going to be heading out to Arizona to join the Cubs organization out there, and so big time. You'll get. You said that you'll figure out where you'll be when, as far as A ball.
Around the start of April, first week of April, I'll start. I'll see where I'm going, whether it be, you know,
or the big league club. I shouldn't say A ball. The big league club as a 21 or 22-year-old or whatever, and so
we'll see. But you know, I mean, whether it's where I was before, whether it's a promotion, it's awesome. But you know, you got to earn your keep. You're nothing but a number now. So
absolutely. So again, if you'd like to follow Ethan in this story. You can follow him on Twitter. I know it's Ethan XXVI, right? And then you've also got an Instagram and also a Facebook page too. So there's many different ways to be able to follow Ethan and Bryson and Hope and everybody. I mean, family's important to you.
Absolutely, 100%. I went to Oregon and I was like, all right, Hope, you're coming with me. Sorry. So we stayed in a hotel for 2 months. So that was fun. But yeah, I was like, you got to come with me. I don't know what I'd do without you. So.
Well, we hope we can get you back on
Yeah.
Table Talk sometime soon,
Absolutely.
and we'll be rooting you on.
Thank
I
you.
think that you've got a story and made such an impact through Tennessee Tech and also through White County that a lot of folks are rooting for you, and a lot of folks are awfully proud of you already. Just
Thank you so
want
much.
to thank you for being
Yeah,
here on Table
absolutely.
Talk. Ethan Roberts joined us, and so we'll hopefully have him back to recap another season maybe next year or something like that. So thank you for joining us for Table Talk. And until Karen and I come from you this table again, we wish you a great time and enjoy BLTV Channel 6 and all the great programming we've got in store for you throughout the week. Thanks so much for joining us here on Table Talk.